53. Article 53. Executive power of the President. Article 53 states, 1. The executive power of the Republic is vested in the President. 2. The President exercises executive authority directly or through officers subordinate to him. 3. All executive actions are taken in the President's name. Open book, easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Vested in the President. The President is the formal head of the executive in Bangladesh. All executive powers legally belong to the President. 2. Exercised through subordinates. In practice, the President acts through the Prime Minister and Cabinet. Ministers and officials execute government functions in the President's name. 3. Formal authority. Even though the President is mostly ceremonial, all executive acts, laws, appointments, orders, are formally issued in the name of the President. 4. Significance. Upholds constitutional principle that the President is the head of the state. Provides legal validity to executive decisions. Ensures continuity and accountability in governance. Books. Article 53 vests the executive power of Bangladesh in the President. The President exercises it directly or through subordinates, and all executive actions are taken in the President's name. Books. Article 53 of the Constitution of Bangladesh vests the executive power of the Republic in the President. The President exercises this power either directly or through officers and officials subordinate to him, including the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. All executive actions, including appointments, orders, and enforcement of laws, are formally issued in the name of the President. This article ensures that the President is recognized as the formal head of the executive, providing legal authority and continuity to governmental functions while maintaining constitutional accountability. Book. Article 54. Appointment of the Prime Minister. Article 54 provides, 1. The President appoints the Prime Minister. 2. The Prime Minister is usually the leader of the party or coalition with the majority in the Jatiya Sangsad, Parliament. 3. The Prime Minister holds office during the pleasure of the President, but in practice, as long as they enjoy parliamentary majority. Open book, easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Appointment by the President. The President formally appoints the Prime Minister. This is part of the President's constitutional role. 2. Majority in Parliament. The President appoints someone who commands the confidence of the majority of members of Parliament. Ensures democratic legitimacy. 3. Tenure. The Prime Minister holds office as long as they have the confidence of Parliament. Even though the Constitution says, during the pleasure of the President, real power depends on parliamentary support. 4. Significance. Establishes parliamentary democracy. Ensures executive leadership reflects parliamentary majority. Prevents undemocratic appointments. Books. Exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 54 states that the President appoints the Prime Minister, usually the leader of the party or coalition with majority in Parliament. The PM holds office as long as they have parliamentary confidence. Books. Exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 54 of the Constitution of Bangladesh provides that the President appoints the Prime Minister, who is generally the leader of the party or coalition with a majority in the Jatiya Sangsad. The Prime Minister holds office during the pleasure of the President, but in practice, remains in office as long as they enjoy the confidence of Parliament. This article ensures that executive leadership is democratically legitimate, reflects parliamentary support, and strengthens the parliamentary system of government in Bangladesh. It balances constitutional formality with democratic practice. Book. Article 55. Collective responsibility of the Cabinet Memo. Article 55. Text summary. Article 55 provides, 1. The Cabinet, including the Prime Minister, is collectively responsible to the Jatiya Sangsad, Parliament. 2. If the Cabinet loses the confidence of the Parliament, it must resign. Open book, easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Collective responsibility. All Cabinet members, led by the Prime Minister, are jointly responsible for government policies and decisions. If the cabinet makes a decision, every member is accountable, even if they personally disagreed. 2. Accountability to Parliament. The cabinet must maintain the confidence of the majority in Parliament. If a vote of no confidence passes, the cabinet must resign collectively. 3. Significance. Ensures cohesion in the executive branch. Strengthens parliamentary democracy. Prevents individual ministers from acting independently against government policy. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 55 states that the cabinet, including the Prime Minister, is collectively responsible to Parliament and must resign if it loses parliamentary confidence. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 55 of the Constitution of Bangladesh establishes the principle of collective responsibility of the cabinet. All members of the cabinet, led by the Prime Minister, are jointly responsible for government decisions and policies. This ensures unity and accountability in the executive branch. The cabinet is responsible to the Jatiya Sangsad, and if it loses the confidence of the majority in Parliament, it must resign collectively. This article is a key feature of parliamentary democracy in Bangladesh, ensuring that the executive remains accountable to the legislature and operates as a cohesive body. Book Article 56, Functions of the Prime Minister Memo Article 56, Text Summary. Article 56 outlines the role and functions of the Prime Minister. 1. The Prime Minister is the chief executive of the government. 2. Acts as leader of the cabinet and coordinates government policies. 3. Advises the President on various matters, including appointments and executive decisions. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Chief executive role. The Prime Minister leads the government and oversees administration, responsible for implementing laws and policies. 2. Leader of the cabinet, heads the cabinet, chairs meetings, and coordinates decisions. Ensures collective responsibility of all ministers. Article 55. 3. Advising the President. The Prime Minister advises the President on appointments of ministers, executive decisions, other constitutional functions. President usually acts on this advice in practice. 4. Significance. Establishes the Prime Minister as the central figure in government administration. Ensures efficient governance and policy coordination. Reinforces parliamentary system, where the Prime Minister holds real executive power. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 56 states that the Prime Minister is the chief executive, leader of the cabinet, and advises the President on executive matters. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 56 of the Constitution of Bangladesh defines the functions of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the chief executive of the government, leads the cabinet, and coordinates government policies. Additionally, the Prime Minister advises the President on various matters, including appointments and other executive decisions, which the President generally follows. This article establishes the Prime Minister as the central authority in the administration of the country, ensures efficient governance, and reinforces the parliamentary system where real executive power lies with the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. Book Article 94. The Supreme Court Memo Article 94, Text Summary. Article 94 establishes the Supreme Court of Bangladesh and its structure. 1. The Supreme Court consists of the Appellate Division and the High Court Division. 2. The High Court Division has original, appellate, and other jurisdiction as defined by law. 3. The Appellate Division hears appeals from the High Court Division. 4. The Supreme Court is the highest judicial authority in Bangladesh. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Composition. Appellate Division hears appeals from the High Court Division. High Court Division handles original cases, writs, and appeals from lower courts. 2. Jurisdiction. High Court Division can issue writs for enforcement of fundamental rights. Hears civil and criminal matters as defined by law. Appellate Division hears appeals against High Court decisions. 3. Significance. Acts as guardian of the Constitution. Ensures justice, rule of law, and protection of fundamental rights. Provides final judicial authority in Bangladesh. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 94 establishes the Supreme Court of Bangladesh, consisting of the Appellate Division and High Court Division, which serve as the highest judicial authority. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 94 of the Constitution of Bangladesh establishes the Supreme Court as the highest judicial authority in the country. The Supreme Court consists of 2 divisions, the High Court Division, which has original, appellate, and other jurisdictions including enforcement of fundamental rights, and the Appellate Division, which hears appeals from the High Court Division. The Supreme Court acts as the guardian of the Constitution, ensures the protection of fundamental rights, maintains the rule of law, and provides final judicial authority in Bangladesh. This article lays the foundation for an independent and effective judiciary. Book Article 95. Appointment and Qualifications of Supreme Court Judges Memo Article 95. Text Summary. Article 95 provides rules for 1. Appointment of judges of the Supreme Court, both Appellate and High Court divisions. 2. Qualifications required to be a judge. 3. Judges are appointed by the President. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Appointment by the President. The President appoints judges of both Appellate and High Court divisions. Appointment is based on consultation with the Chief Justice. 2. Qualifications. For High Court division. Must have been a judge of a high court or a practicing advocate for a specified number of years, usually 10 years. For Appellate division. Usually appointed from experienced judges of the High Court division. 3. Significance. Ensures competent and experienced judiciary. Maintains independence of the judiciary. Provides legal legitimacy to judicial appointments. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 95 states that Supreme Court judges are appointed by the President, in consultation with the Chief Justice, and must meet certain qualifications of experience as judges or advocates. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 95 of the Constitution of Bangladesh provides the framework for the appointment and qualifications of Supreme Court judges. Judges of the High Court Division and the Appellate Division are appointed by the President, after consultation with the Chief Justice. To qualify for the High Court Division, a person must have been a judge of a high court or an advocate of a high court for a specified period, while judges of the Appellate Division are usually appointed from experienced High Court judges. This article ensures that the judiciary is staffed by competent and experienced individuals, maintaining judicial independence and upholding the rule of law in Bangladesh. Book Article 96, Tenure, Salaries, and Conditions of Service of Supreme Court Judges Memo Article 96, Text Summary. Article 96 provides for 1. Tenure of office of Supreme Court judges. 2. Salaries, allowances, and conditions of service of judges. 3. Guarantees security of tenure and independence. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Tenure of office. Supreme Court judges hold office until the age of retirement, currently 67 for Appellate Division, 65 for High Court Division. They cannot be removed arbitrarily, except by impeachment under the Constitution. 2. Salaries and allowances. Judges receive fixed salaries and allowances determined by law. Salaries cannot be reduced during tenure, ensuring independence. 3. Conditions of service. Conditions are prescribed by law, including allowances, leave, and pensions. Protects judges from political or executive interference. 4. Significance. Ensures judicial independence. Prevents external influence or corruption. Promotes rule of law and fair justice. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 96 provides that Supreme Court judges hold office until retirement age, receive salaries and allowances, and have conditions of service ensuring independence and security of tenure. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 96 of the Constitution of Bangladesh governs the tenure, salaries, and conditions of service of Supreme Court judges. Judges hold office until the prescribed retirement age and can only be removed through the constitutional process of impeachment. Ensuring security of tenure. Their salaries and allowances are fixed by law and cannot be reduced during office, protecting judicial independence. Conditions of service, including pensions and benefits, are legally defined. This article ensures that judges can perform their duties without fear or favor. Maintaining the independence of the judiciary and upholding the rule of law in Bangladesh. Book Article 97. Removal of judges of the Supreme Court Memo. Article 97. Text summary. Article 97 provides the procedure for the removal of Supreme Court judges. 1. A judge can only be removed by the President. 2. Removal is allowed on proven grounds of incapacity or proven misconduct. 3. Removal requires a resolution passed by not less than 2/3 of the total members of Parliament. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Grounds for removal. Incapacity. Physical or mental inability to perform duties. Misconduct. Proven improper conduct affecting judicial duties. 2. Procedure. Parliament investigates and passes a resolution for removal. Requires 2/3 majority of all members of Parliament. The President then formally removes the judge. 3. Significance. Ensures judicial accountability. Protects independence of the judiciary by preventing arbitrary removal. Maintains rule of law and public trust in the Supreme Court. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 97 states that Supreme Court judges can be removed by the President on proven incapacity or misconduct, following a 2/3 majority resolution of Parliament. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 97 of the Constitution of Bangladesh provides the procedure for removing judges of the Supreme Court. A judge may be removed by the President only on proven grounds of incapacity or proven misconduct. The removal requires a resolution passed by not less than 2/3 of the total members of Parliament. This article ensures that judges are accountable while safeguarding judicial independence by preventing arbitrary or politically motivated removals, thereby maintaining public confidence and upholding the rule of law in the judiciary. Book Article 98. Oaths and Affirmations of Supreme Court Judges Memo. Article 98. Text summary. Article 98 provides 1. Every judge of the Supreme Court must take an oath or affirmation before entering office. 2. The oath binds the judge to faithfully perform duties, uphold the Constitution, and administer justice impartially. 3. The form and procedure of the oath are as prescribed by law. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Requirement of oath or affirmation. Judges cannot assume office without taking the constitutional oath. Ensures commitment to judicial responsibilities. 2. Content of the oath. Uphold the Constitution of Bangladesh. Perform duties faithfully, honestly, and impartially. Protect the rule of law and rights of citizens. 3. Legal basis. Form and procedure of the oath are prescribed by law. Taking the oath is mandatory before exercising judicial powers. 4. Significance. Reinforces judicial independence and accountability. Ensures that judges act according to law and constitution. Symbolizes loyalty to justice and the nation. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 98 requires Supreme Court judges to take an oath or affirmation before office, committing to uphold the Constitution and perform duties impartially. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 98 of the Constitution of Bangladesh mandates that every judge of the Supreme Court must take an oath or affirmation before assuming office. The oath binds the judge to faithfully perform judicial duties, uphold the Constitution, administer justice impartially, and protect the rule of law. The form and procedure of the oath are prescribed by law. This article ensures accountability, reinforces judicial independence, and guarantees that judges uphold constitutional principles while performing their duties, maintaining public confidence in the judiciary. Book Article 99, Judicial Review and Enforcement of Fundamental Rights Memo Article 99, Text Summary. Article 99 provides, 1. The High Court Division has the power to enforce fundamental rights. 2. Citizens can move the High Court Division by writ, order, or direction if their rights are violated. 3. The High Court can issue writs like habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto, and certiorari. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Enforcement of fundamental rights. If a citizen's fundamental rights are violated, they can approach the High Court Division. The court can protect and restore these rights. 2. Judicial review. High Court Division can examine actions of the government, public authorities, or officials. Ensures that no authority acts beyond its legal powers. 3. Types of writs. 1. Habeas corpus. Protects personal liberty, prevents unlawful detention. 2. Mandamus. Commands a public official to perform duties. 3. Prohibition. Prevents lower courts or authorities from exceeding jurisdiction. 4. Quo warranto. Challenges a person holding a public office illegally. 5. Certiorari. Quashes decisions of lower courts or authorities exceeding power. 4. Significance. Acts as a guardian of fundamental rights. Ensures rule of law and accountability of public authorities. Strengthens judicial independence and democracy. Books Exam Short Answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 99 empowers the High Court Division to enforce fundamental rights and issue writs like habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto, and certiorari to ensure legality of actions by authorities. Books Exam Long Answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 99 of the Constitution of Bangladesh vests the High Court Division with the power of judicial review to enforce fundamental rights. Citizens can approach the High Court if their rights are violated. The High Court can issue writs such as habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto, and certiorari to ensure that public authorities act within the law. This article safeguards individual rights, upholds the rule of law, ensures accountability of government officials, and strengthens democracy by maintaining the supremacy of the Constitution. Book Article 100, Jurisdiction and Powers of the High Court Division Memo Article 100, Text Summary. Article 100 outlines the jurisdiction and powers of the High Court Division. 1. The High Court Division has original, appellate, and revisionary jurisdiction. 2. It can supervise and control lower courts and tribunals. 3. It exercises judicial review over administrative and quasi-judicial authorities. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Original jurisdiction. The High Court can hear cases directly, including fundamental rights petitions. 2. Appellate jurisdiction. Can hear appeals from decisions of lower courts and tribunals. 3. Revisionary jurisdiction. Can review or revise decisions of subordinate courts for legal errors. 4. Supervisory and control powers. Can issue directions, orders, or writs to ensure lower courts and tribunals act within law. 5. Judicial review of authorities. Ensures that government, public bodies, and officials do not act beyond legal authority. Protects citizens' rights and rule of law. 6. Significance. Strengthens judicial independence. Maintains accountability of lower courts and authorities. Provides a mechanism to enforce justice and fundamental rights. Books Exam Short Answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 100 gives the High Court Division original, appellate, and revisionary jurisdiction, supervisory powers over lower courts, and authority to review actions of administrative bodies. Books Exam Long Answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 100 of the Constitution of Bangladesh defines the jurisdiction and powers of the High Court Division. It has original jurisdiction to hear cases directly, appellate jurisdiction to hear appeals from lower courts, and revisionary jurisdiction to review legal errors in subordinate courts' decisions. The High Court Division also has supervisory and control powers over lower courts and tribunals, and can exercise judicial review over administrative and quasi-judicial authorities. This article strengthens judicial independence, ensures accountability, enforces fundamental rights, and upholds the rule of law in Bangladesh. Parliament, Jatiya Sangsad, Bangladesh Constitution. The Parliament of Bangladesh is the supreme legislative body of the country. It is established under the Constitution of Bangladesh and is a unicameral legislature, single chamber. 1. Composition of Parliament. Total members 350. 250 members are directly elected through general elections. 50 reserved seats for women, allocated to political parties based on their proportional representation. Term, usually 5 years, unless dissolved earlier. 2. Powers and functions. 1. Legislative power. Parliament has the sole authority to make laws. Bills proposed by the government or members are debated, passed, and then sent to the President for assent. 2. Financial control. Approves the national budget and oversees government expenditure and revenue. The government must present accounts and financial statements to Parliament. 3. Executive oversight. Holds the Prime Minister and Cabinet Ministers accountable through questions, motions, and debates. Can form committees to investigate non-compliance with laws or misuse of power. 4. Role in state functions. Participates in the election and recommendation process of the President. Can amend the Constitution under prescribed procedures. Plays a role in confirming key appointments, including some constitutional authorities. 3. Principles of functioning. Operates under the rule of law, separation of powers, and parliamentary supremacy. Decisions are generally made by majority vote. The Prime Minister and Cabinet are responsible to Parliament, meaning they must retain its confidence. Fundamental principles of state policy. Bangladesh Constitution. The fundamental principles of state policy are enshrined in Part 2, Articles 8 to 25. Of the Constitution of Bangladesh. They are guidelines for the government to create policies and laws but are not legally enforceable in courts, unlike fundamental rights. They set the ideological and moral foundation of the state. 1. Key principles. 1. Democracy. Bangladesh shall be a democratic state. People exercise power through elected representatives. 2. Rule of law. All citizens and institutions are subject to the law. Ensures fairness, justice, and equality. 3. Fundamental human rights. The state shall respect and promote civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights. 4. Social justice. Ensures elimination of exploitation, equitable distribution of wealth, and protection of marginalized groups. 5. Economic justice. The state aims for economic development, reduction of inequality, and protection of labor and working classes. 6. Freedom and equality. Equal opportunities for all citizens without discrimination based on religion, race, sex, or language. 7. Nationalism. Guided by Bengali nationalism, but respecting minority rights. 8. Secularism. Separation of religion from state affairs. Ensures religious tolerance and freedom of belief. 9. Participation of people in governance. Encourages people's involvement in government planning and decision-making. 10. Promotion of education, culture, and welfare. State ensures universal education, cultural development, and social welfare programs. 2. Legal status. Not justiciable, meaning citizens cannot enforce these principles in court. Serve as guidelines for Parliament and government policies. Courts may consider them in interpreting laws and rights, but they do not create enforceable rights by themselves. 3. Importance. Provides the ideological framework for Bangladesh. Ensures government accountability towards social, economic, and cultural development. Balances fundamental rights with state policy objectives. Fundamental rights. Bangladesh Constitution. The fundamental rights are enshrined in Part 3, Articles 26 to 47b, of the Constitution of Bangladesh. These rights are justiciable, meaning citizens can go to court if these rights are violated. They form the core of individual liberty, equality, and justice. 1. Key fundamental rights. 1. Right to equality, Article 27 to 28. All citizens are equal before the law. No discrimination based on religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. 2. Right to freedom, Article 31 to 35. Citizens have the freedom to speech, expression, assembly, association, movement and residence, profession or occupation, property ownership, subject to law. 3. Right to protection of law, Article 31 to 35. Protection against arbitrary arrest or detention. No one can be punished without due process. 4. Right to education, Article 17, 28. 41. Every citizen has the right to free and compulsory education up to a certain level. 5. Right to religion, Article 41 to 44. Freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. Right to practice, propagate, and profess religion, subject to law and public order. 6. Right against exploitation, Article 34. No forced labor, slavery, or trafficking allowed. 7. Right to life and personal liberty, Article 32. Right to life, liberty, and security. No one shall be deprived of life or personal liberty except according to law. 8. Right to fair trial, Article 35. Protection of legal rights in criminal cases. Includes right to be informed of charges, right to lawyer, and fair hearing. 9. Cultural and minority rights, Article 28, 28a, 28b. Protection of ethnic, linguistic, and religious minority rights. Equal access to educational and cultural opportunities. 2. Key points about fundamental rights. Justiciable. Citizens can approach the Supreme Court if rights are violated. Limitations. Rights can be restricted in the interest of public order, morality, national security, or law. Basis for democracy. They protect individual freedoms and equality, essential in a democratic state. Preamble. The preamble is the introduction of the Constitution. It shows the goals and ideals of Bangladesh. 1. Nationalism. Unity and identity of the Bengali nation. 2. Democracy. People have the ultimate power. 3. Socialism. Fairness in wealth and social justice. 4. Secularism. No religion dominates the state. It guides the Constitution but cannot be directly enforced in courts. President. The President is the head of state but real power is with the Prime Minister. Election. Chosen by Parliament. Term. 5 years. Functions. Approves laws passed by Parliament. Can summon or dissolve Parliament. Gives pardons or mercy in legal cases. Mostly ceremonial. Follows the advice of the government. Parliament. Jatiya Sangsad. The Parliament is the highest law-making body. Composition. 350 members, 300 elected directly, 50 reserved for women. Functions. Make laws. Approve budgets and government policies. Control the government through questions or motions. Elect the President. Parliament represents the people's power. Fundamental Principles of State Policy, FPSP, Articles 8 to 14, not enforceable in courts. They guide the government in making policies. Goals. Establish democracy and social justice. Ensure fair distribution of wealth. Protect human welfare like education and health. Maintain nationalism and secularism. Fundamental rights, Articles 26 to 47, enforceable in courts. Protect citizens' freedom and equality. Important rights include equality before law and non-discrimination. Right to life and personal liberty. Freedom of speech, assembly, and religion. Right to property and education. Check mark. In short, preamble tells us the ideals. President. Ceremonial head of state. Parliament makes laws and controls government. FPSP guides government policy. Fundamental rights protect citizens' freedoms. Article 21. Protection of property rights. Article 21 states, every citizen has the right to own, acquire, and dispose of property, and no person shall be deprived of property except by law. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Right to own property. Citizens can buy, sell, and inherit property. Property includes land, house, business, or movable goods. 2. Protection against arbitrary deprivation. No one can take away a person's property arbitrarily. Deprivation is allowed only under the law, e.g., for public purposes with compensation. 3. Part of fundamental rights. Article 21 falls under Chapter 2 of the Constitution. Citizens can challenge illegal confiscation of property in court. 4. Significance. Ensures economic security and stability for citizens. Protects private ownership while balancing public interest. Encourages investment and development in the country. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 21 guarantees citizens the right to own, acquire, and dispose of property. No one can be deprived of property except according to law. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 21 of the Constitution of Bangladesh protects the fundamental right to property. It ensures that every citizen has the right to acquire, own, and dispose of property, including land, houses, or other assets. No person shall be deprived of property arbitrarily, and any deprivation must be authorized by law, usually for public purposes with compensation. This article forms part of the Fundamental Rights chapter, allowing citizens to seek legal remedy in case of illegal confiscation. Article 21 safeguards economic security, encourages investment, and balances private rights with public interest. Book Article 22. Protection of privacy and correspondence. Article 22 guarantees 1. Protection of privacy of home and correspondence. 2. No person shall be subjected to arbitrary search or seizure. 3. Exceptions are allowed under law for public safety, order, or for the purposes of justice. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Protection of privacy. Citizens have the right to privacy in their homes and personal communications. Government cannot enter homes or intercept correspondence without lawful authority. 2. No arbitrary search or seizure. Authorities must follow legal procedures to search property, seize documents, or monitor communication. Illegal searches or interceptions are unconstitutional. 3. Legal exceptions. Searches or seizures can be carried out if authorized by law, e.g., criminal investigation, national security, court orders. 4. Significance. Protects fundamental rights to privacy. Prevents abuse of power by authorities. Ensures rule of law and personal freedom. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 22 protects privacy of home and correspondence. No person shall be subjected to arbitrary search or seizure, except as authorized by law. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 22 of the Constitution of Bangladesh safeguards the privacy of citizens. It ensures that no person's home or personal correspondence can be searched or seized arbitrarily. Any interference must follow the procedure established by law, such as during criminal investigations, national security matters, or under court orders. This article protects citizens from misuse of power, preserves personal freedom, and upholds the rule of law. Being part of fundamental rights, it allows individuals to challenge unlawful searches or seizures in courts, thereby maintaining the balance between state authority and personal liberty. Book Article 23. Protection against retrospective punishment. Article 23 states, no person shall be punished for an act that was not a punishable offense under the law at the time it was committed. Similarly, no penalty or punishment shall be imposed that was not legally prescribed at that time. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Protection from retrospective laws. Citizens cannot be punished for acts that were not illegal when done. Example: if a law criminalizing an action is passed today, it cannot punish someone who did it last year. 2. Protection against extra penalties. A person cannot be given a harsher punishment than what the law prescribed at the time of committing the offense. 3. Significance. Ensures justice and fairness in the legal system. Prevents arbitrary or retrospective punishment by the state. Supports the principle of rule of law. Book's Article 23 protects citizens from retrospective punishment. No one can be punished for an act that was not illegal at the time it was committed, nor given a penalty that was not prescribed by law. Book's Article 23 of the Constitution of Bangladesh safeguards citizens against retrospective punishment. It ensures that no person shall be punished for an act that was not an offense under the law at the time of its commission, and no penalty or punishment greater than that prescribed by law at the time can be imposed. This article upholds the principles of justice, fairness, and rule of law, preventing arbitrary or retroactive application of laws. It forms an essential part of the Fundamental Rights Chapter, guaranteeing legal certainty and protecting individuals from state abuse in criminal matters. Book Article 24. Protection against double jeopardy and self-incrimination. Article 24 provides: 1. No person shall be tried or punished again for an offense for which they have already been convicted or acquitted. Protection against double jeopardy. 2. No person shall be compelled to give evidence against themselves. Protection against self-incrimination. Open book, easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Protection against double jeopardy. If a person is convicted or acquitted, they cannot be tried again for the same offense. Ensures finality in legal proceedings. 2. Protection against self-incrimination. No one can be forced to testify against themselves. Protects citizens from coercion, torture, or unfair interrogation. 3. Significance. Upholds justice, fairness, and human dignity. Supports due process of law. Ensures that citizens are protected from abuse of the legal system. Book's exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 24 protects citizens from double jeopardy and self-incrimination. No person can be tried again for an offense already decided, nor forced to give evidence against themselves. Book's exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 24 of the Constitution of Bangladesh safeguards 2 important legal protections. First, it ensures that no person shall be tried or punished again for an offense for which they have already been convicted or acquitted, protecting against double jeopardy. Second, it guarantees that no person shall be compelled to provide evidence against themselves, protecting against self-incrimination. These provisions uphold the principles of justice, due process, and human dignity, and prevent misuse of the legal system by authorities. Article 24 forms a key part of fundamental rights, ensuring fairness in criminal proceedings and safeguarding citizens from arbitrary state action. Book Article 25. Freedom of movement and residence. Article 25 states: 1. Every citizen has the right to move freely throughout Bangladesh. 2. Every citizen has the right to reside and settle in any part of the country. 3. Reasonable restrictions may be imposed in the interest of public order, security, or law. Open book, easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Freedom of movement. Citizens can travel freely across the country without interference. Promotes personal liberty and choice. 2. Freedom of residence. Citizens can live in any city, district, or village of Bangladesh. Ensures freedom to settle or migrate internally. 3. Reasonable restrictions. The state may restrict movement or residence for public safety, law and order, security of the state. 4. Significance. Protects personal freedom and mobility. Supports economic and social activities across the country. Prevents arbitrary restriction by authorities. Book's Article 25 guarantees citizens the freedom to move and reside anywhere in Bangladesh. Reasonable restrictions can be imposed for public order, security, or law. Books Article 25 of the Constitution of Bangladesh ensures that every citizen has the fundamental right to move freely throughout the country and to reside or settle in any part of Bangladesh. This right, however, may be subject to reasonable restrictions imposed by the state in the interest of public order, security, or law. The article safeguards personal liberty, promotes freedom of choice, and enables citizens to participate in social, economic, and cultural activities across the nation by protecting freedom of movement and residence. Article 25 contributes to the broader framework of fundamental rights and democratic governance. Book Article 48. Term of office of the President. Article 48 deals with the tenure and term of the President of Bangladesh. 1. The President shall hold office for a term of 5 years from the date they enter office. 2. The President is eligible for re-election after completing a term. 3. The President continues in office until a successor enters office. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Term duration. The President is elected for 5 years. This ensures a fixed term and stability in the executive. 2. Eligibility for re-election. The same person can be elected again as President. There is no constitutional bar on consecutive or non-consecutive terms. 3. Continuity until successor. If the term ends but a new president is not yet in office, the current president continues temporarily. Ensures no vacancy in the office of the president. 4. Significance. Provides constitutional clarity on tenure. Maintains continuity and stability in the executive branch. Prevents power vacuum in the highest constitutional office. Books Article 48 provides that the President holds office for 5 years, is eligible for re-election, and continues in office until a successor assumes office. Books Article 48 of the Constitution of Bangladesh governs the term of office of the President. The President is elected for a term of 5 years from the date of entering office and is eligible for re-election if a successor has not entered office at the end of the term. The incumbent president continues to perform duties until the new president assumes office. This provision ensures continuity, stability, and smooth functioning of the executive, preventing any vacancy in the highest constitutional office of the country. Article 48 is essential for maintaining constitutional order in the presidency. Book Article 49. Election of the President. Article 49 deals with the procedure for electing the President. 1. The President is elected by the members of the Jatiya Sangsad, Parliament. 2. The election is held in accordance with the law made by Parliament. 3. If the office becomes vacant before the end of term, a new President is elected for the remainder of the term. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Electoral College. The President is elected indirectly by the members of Parliament, not by the public. Ensures that the President has support in the legislature. 2. Election Rules. Parliament enacts laws specifying the procedure for election. Election must follow these legal provisions. 3. Filling vacancies. If the President resigns, dies, or is removed, a new President is elected. The new President serves for the remainder of the original term, not a full 5 years. 4. Significance. Ensures a constitutional and orderly process for choosing the President. Maintains legitimacy and continuity in the executive office. Avoids power vacuum in the highest constitutional post. Books Exam Short Answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 49 states that the President is elected by the members of Parliament according to law. In case of vacancy, a new President is elected for the remainder of the term. Books Exam Long Answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 49 of the Constitution of Bangladesh provides the procedure for the election of the President. The President is elected by the members of Parliament in accordance with laws enacted by Parliament. If the office becomes vacant before the end of the term due to resignation, death, or removal, a new President is elected to serve for the remainder of the term. This article ensures a lawful, transparent, and orderly election process, maintains continuity in the presidency, and upholds the constitutional legitimacy of the executive authority in Bangladesh. Book Article 50. Oath or affirmation of the President. Article 50 provides, 1. Before entering office, the President must take an oath or make an affirmation. 2. The oath, affirmation is administered in accordance with the law. 3. The oath binds the President to faithfully perform duties and uphold the Constitution. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Requirement of oath or affirmation. The President cannot assume office without taking the constitutional oath. Ensures commitment to duties and responsibilities. 2. Content of oath. Uphold the Constitution of Bangladesh. Perform duties faithfully, honestly, and impartially. Protect the sovereignty, integrity, and democratic principles of the country. 3. Legal basis. The form and procedure of the oath are regulated by law. Oath is a constitutional requirement, and taking it is mandatory before exercising powers. 4. Significance. Ensures accountability and legality of the President. Reinforces constitutional supremacy. Symbolizes loyalty to the nation and its laws. Books exam short answer. 3 to 4 marks. Article 50 requires the President to take an oath or make an affirmation before entering office, committing to faithfully perform duties and uphold the Constitution. Books exam long answer. 7 to 10 marks. Article 50 of the Constitution of Bangladesh mandates that the President must take an oath or make an affirmation before assuming office. The oath, administered according to law, binds the President to faithfully execute the responsibilities of the office, uphold the Constitution, and protect the sovereignty and integrity of the country. This provision ensures accountability, adherence to constitutional principles, and reinforces the supremacy of the Constitution in the conduct of the highest executive authority in Bangladesh. Book Article 51. Resignation and removal of the President. Article 51 deals with 1. Resignation of the President. 2. Removal of the President from office under certain conditions. 3. The procedure for impeachment by the Jatiya Sangsad, Parliament. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Resignation. The President may resign by writing to the Speaker of Parliament. Resignation takes effect from the date it is received. 2. Removal. Impeachment. The President can be removed for violation of the Constitution or incapacity. Removal requires a resolution passed by not less than 2/3 of the total members of Parliament. This is also called impeachment. 3. Significance. Ensures accountability of the President. Protects the supremacy of the Constitution. Provides a legal and orderly procedure for resignation or removal. Books Article 51 provides that the President may resign by writing to the Speaker, and may be removed by Parliament through impeachment for violation of the Constitution or incapacity. Books Article 51 of the Constitution of Bangladesh deals with the resignation and removal of the President. The President can resign by submitting a written resignation to the Speaker of the Jatiya Sangsad, which takes effect on receipt. The President may also be removed from office through impeachment by Parliament for violating the Constitution or being incapable of performing the duties of office. The removal requires a resolution passed by at least 2/3 of all members of Parliament. This article ensures accountability, maintains constitutional supremacy, and provides a clear legal process for resignation or removal of the highest constitutional authority in Bangladesh. Book Article 52. Acting President. Article 52 deals with the temporary assumption of the President's office. 1. If the office of the President becomes vacant or the President is unable to perform duties, the Vice President or other authorized person shall act as President. 2. The acting President performs all functions and duties of the President until the vacancy is filled or the President resumes office. Open Book 1. When it applies. If the President resigns, dies, is temporarily unable due to illness or absence to Who assumes office? Initially, the Vice President, if the position exists, or another person authorized by law. They act as President temporarily. 3. Powers of acting President. Can exercise all powers of the President. Ensures continuity in executive functions. 4. Significance. Prevents vacancy in the highest office. Maintains stability and continuity in governance. Ensures constitutional functions of the President are never interrupted. Book's Article 52 provides that if the President's office becomes vacant or the President is unable to perform duties, the Vice President or another authorized person acts as President until the vacancy is filled or the President resumes office. Book's Article 52 of the Constitution of Bangladesh ensures continuity in the office of the President. When the President's office is vacant due to resignation, death, or temporary inability, the Vice President or another person authorized by law assumes the role of acting President. The acting President performs all the functions and duties of the President until a new President is elected or the incumbent resumes office. This provision prevents a power vacuum, maintains stability, and ensures that the constitutional responsibilities of the highest executive authority are carried out without interruption. Article 12. Article 12. State policy on democratic character. Article 12 declares, "The Republic shall be a democracy in which the people shall exercise power through elected representatives. The state shall endeavor to ensure that foreign policy, economic and social relations, and all other affairs are conducted in a way consistent with the principles of democracy and sovereignty." Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Democratic Republic. Bangladesh is a democratic state. People exercise power through their elected representatives, not directly. 2. Guidance for state policy. Article 12 guides the government in economic relations, social development, foreign policy. All policies must reflect democratic principles and protect sovereignty. 3. Directive in nature, like Articles 8, 9, and 10. Article 12 is a directive principle, not enforceable in court, but it guides the state in law-making and governance. 4. Importance. Ensures that Bangladesh's policies are democratic and people-oriented. Aligns foreign relations with national interest and sovereignty. Promotes equity, justice, and welfare in society. Book's Article 12 directs that Bangladesh shall be a democratic state where people exercise power through elected representatives. It guides the state to ensure that economic, social, and foreign policies are consistent with democracy and sovereignty. Book's Article 12 of the Constitution provides guidelines for state policy in Bangladesh. It declares that the Republic shall be a democracy, and the people shall exercise power through elected representatives. The article directs that the government must conduct economic, social, and foreign affairs in a manner consistent with democratic principles and the sovereignty of the nation, although it is not enforceable in courts. Article 12 serves as an important directive principle, ensuring that all laws, policies, and administrative actions reflect the democratic character of the state and promote the welfare of its citizens while protecting national independence. Book Article 13. Fundamental Rights, Equality and Protection. Article 13 emphasizes, "The state shall ensure equality before the law and prohibit discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth." Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Equality before law. Every citizen of Bangladesh is equal in the eyes of the law. Courts, government, and officials cannot treat anyone differently without legal reason. 2. Prohibition of discrimination. Discrimination is forbidden on religion, race, caste, sex, gender, place of birth. Ensures fair treatment for all citizens. 3. Protection of fundamental rights. Article 13 is part of Chapter 2 of the Constitution, which deals with fundamental rights. Citizens have constitutional protection against inequality and discrimination. 4. Significance: promotes social justice, strengthens national unity, forms the legal foundation for equal opportunities in education, employment, and public life. Books Article 13 ensures equality before the law and prohibits discrimination on religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. It protects fundamental rights and guarantees fair treatment for all citizens. Books Article 13 of the Constitution of Bangladesh guarantees equality before the law and prohibits discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. This article forms part of the fundamental rights provisions and ensures that all citizens are treated fairly and justly under the law. It protects individuals from arbitrary treatment by the state or other authorities, and provides a constitutional foundation for equal opportunities in education, employment, and public affairs. Article 13 is vital for promoting social justice, national unity, and equality in Bangladesh. Book Article 14. Equality of opportunity in public employment. Article 14 declares, the state shall ensure equality of opportunity in public employment and prohibit discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Equality in public employment. Every citizen has the right to equal opportunity in government jobs. Recruitment, promotions, and postings must be based on merit. 2. Prohibition of discrimination. Discrimination is not allowed based on religion, race, caste, sex, gender, place of birth, ensures fairness and inclusivity in public service. 3. Part of fundamental rights. Article 14 is connected to Chapter 2 of the Constitution, which safeguards fundamental rights. Citizens can challenge unfair or discriminatory practices in public employment in court. 4. Significance: promotes merit-based administration, prevents bias or favoritism in government jobs, strengthens rule of law and social justice in public service. Books Article 14 ensures equality of opportunity in public employment and prohibits discrimination on religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. It guarantees fair and merit-based access to government jobs. Books Article 14 of the Constitution of Bangladesh guarantees equality of opportunity in public employment. It prohibits any discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth in recruitment, promotion, and service in government offices. This article, as part of fundamental rights, ensures that all citizens have fair access to public service based on merit. It strengthens social justice, prevents favoritism or bias, and ensures a competent and equitable civil administration in Bangladesh. Citizens can seek legal remedy if discrimination occurs, making this article enforceable in courts. Book Article 15. Prohibition of forced labor. Article 15 declares, no person shall be required to perform forced labor. Nothing in this article shall prevent the state from requiring citizens to perform compulsory service for public purposes under law. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Prohibition of forced labor. No citizen can be forced to work against their will. Protects personal freedom and dignity. 2. Exception for public service. The state can require citizens to perform compulsory service if it is authorized by law. It is for public purposes, e.g., national service, disaster relief. 3. Part of fundamental rights. Article 15 falls under Chapter 2, which ensures citizens' fundamental rights. Citizens can challenge illegal forced labor in court. 4. Significance: protects citizens from exploitation and slavery-like conditions. Ensures that labor is voluntary and dignified. Balances individual freedom with public interest. Books Article 15 prohibits forced labor in Bangladesh. Citizens cannot be made to work against their will, except for compulsory public service as authorized by law. Books Article 15 of the Constitution of Bangladesh guarantees that no person shall be required to perform forced labor. This provision protects the freedom and dignity of citizens by preventing slavery and exploitation. However, The article allows the state to require citizens to perform compulsory service for public purposes if it is authorized by law, such as national service or disaster relief efforts. Being part of the Fundamental Rights chapter, this article is enforceable in courts and ensures a balance between individual liberty and the state's requirement for public welfare. Book Article 16. Protection of right to life and personal liberty. Article 16 states, "No person shall be deprived of life or personal liberty except according to law." Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Right to life. Every citizen has the fundamental right to life. Life cannot be taken away arbitrarily by the state or anyone else. 2. Personal liberty. Every citizen has the right to freedom of movement, action, and personal freedom. No one can be detained or imprisoned without following proper legal procedures. 3. Except according to law, the state may restrict life or liberty only under legal authority. Example: conviction and punishment following due process in a court of law. Arbitrary arrests, detention, or killings are illegal. 4. Significance. Protects citizens from tyranny or misuse of power. Ensures rule of law and justice. Core part of Fundamental Rights, Chapter 2, in the Constitution. Books Article 16 guarantees that no person shall be deprived of life or personal liberty except according to law. It protects citizens from arbitrary arrest, detention, or deprivation of life. Books Article 16 of the Constitution of Bangladesh protects the fundamental right to life and personal liberty. It declares that no person shall be deprived of life or liberty except in accordance with the law. This means the state cannot arbitrarily arrest, detain, or punish anyone without following due legal procedures. This article forms a cornerstone of fundamental rights, ensuring protection from tyranny, safeguarding personal freedoms, and upholding the rule of law. It guarantees that any restriction on life or liberty must be legally justified and subject to judicial review, reinforcing justice and fairness in the country. Book Article 17. Protection of right to arrest and detention. Article 17 states, "No person shall be arrested without being informed of the reason for arrest, and no person shall be detained without the authority of law." Easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Right to know the reason for arrest. If someone is arrested, the authorities must inform them immediately why they are being arrested. This prevents arbitrary detention and abuse of power. 2. Legal authority for detention. No person can be detained without legal justification. Detention must follow the law and proper legal procedure. 3. Connection to personal liberty. Article 17 is closely linked with Article 16, right to life and personal liberty. It safeguards freedom by ensuring that liberty is only restricted according to law. 4. Significance. Protects citizens from illegal arrests and unlawful imprisonment. Upholds rule of law and prevents misuse of police or executive power. Ensures citizens can challenge unlawful detention in court. Books Article 17 ensures that no person shall be arrested without being informed of the reason, and that no person shall be detained without lawful authority. It protects citizens from arbitrary arrest and detention. Books Exam Long Answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 17 of the Constitution of Bangladesh safeguards the right to personal liberty by prohibiting arbitrary arrest and detention. It states that any person arrested must be informed immediately of the reason for the arrest, and no person shall be detained without legal authority. This article works together with Article 16 to ensure that the state cannot violate fundamental rights of life and liberty without due process. Citizens have the right to challenge unlawful detention in court. Article 17 thus upholds the principles of justice, fairness, and rule of law in Bangladesh. Book Article 18, Freedom of Movement, Assembly, and Association. Article 18 guarantees 1. Freedom of movement throughout Bangladesh. 2. Freedom to assemble peacefully without arms. 3. Freedom of association, including forming associations, unions, or political parties. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Freedom of movement. Citizens can move freely within Bangladesh. They can choose residence, travel, and migrate internally without unnecessary restriction. 2. Freedom of assembly. Citizens can hold peaceful gatherings or meetings. Assemblies cannot carry arms or threaten public safety. Promotes democratic expression. 3. Freedom of association. Citizens can form groups, societies, unions, or political parties. Helps in social, political, and economic organization. 4. Significance. Strengthens democracy and civil rights. Supports citizen participation in political and social life. Protects freedom of expression through peaceful collective action. Books Article 18 guarantees freedom of movement, peaceful assembly, and association in Bangladesh. Citizens can travel freely, gather peacefully, and form groups or organizations. Books Article 18 of the Constitution of Bangladesh safeguards fundamental freedoms related to movement, assembly, and association. It allows every citizen to move freely throughout the country, hold peaceful gatherings without arms, and form associations, unions, or political parties. These rights are essential for the functioning of a democratic society, enabling citizens to participate in social, political, and economic life. By protecting freedom of expression and collective action, Article 18 strengthens democracy, ensures civil liberties, and encourages active citizen engagement in the governance of the country. Book Article 19, Freedom of Thought, Conscience, and Speech. Article 19 guarantees 1. Freedom of thought and conscience to all citizens. 2. Freedom of speech, expression, and publication. 3. These freedoms may be subject to reasonable restrictions in the interest of security of the state, public order, decency or morality, contempt of court, defamation. Open book easy explanation, exam focused. 1. Freedom of thought and conscience. Citizens can think freely and follow their beliefs or religion. No one can force a person to adopt certain beliefs. 2. Freedom of speech and expression. Citizens can express opinions freely, orally, in writing, or through media. Includes publishing articles, books, or online content. 3. Reasonable restrictions. Freedom is not absolute. Restrictions are allowed to protect state security, public order, decency and morality, rights of others. 4. Significance. Strengthens democracy and rule of law. Encourages public debate, transparency, and accountability. Balances individual freedom with societal and state interests. Books Article 19 guarantees freedom of thought, conscience, speech, and expression. These rights may have reasonable restrictions to protect state security, public order, decency, or the rights of others. Books Article 19 of the Constitution of Bangladesh secures the fundamental freedoms of thought, conscience, speech, and expression for all citizens. It allows individuals to think freely, express opinions publicly, and publish writings. However, these freedoms are subject to reasonable restrictions necessary to maintain the security of the state, public order, decency, morality, and protection of the rights of others. By guaranteeing these rights, Article 19 strengthens democracy, encourages civic participation, protects civil liberties, and ensures a balance between individual freedom and societal interests. Book Article 20. Freedom of religion. Article 20 guarantees 1. Freedom of religion to all citizens. 2. Citizens can profess, practice, or propagate their religion. 3. The state may regulate or restrict any religious practice that violates public order, affects morality or health. Open book easy explanation, exam focused. 1. Freedom of religion. Every citizen can follow any religion of their choice. Includes praying, worship, rituals, and teaching of religion. 2. Propagation of religion. Citizens can teach or promote their religion peacefully. Promotes religious freedom and diversity. 3. Reasonable restrictions. Freedom is not absolute. State can limit religious practices that threaten public safety or order, harm morality or public health. 4. Significance. Protects religious liberty and pluralism in Bangladesh. Ensures peaceful coexistence among different religions. Part of Fundamental Rights. Chapter 2. Enforceable in courts. Books Article 20 guarantees freedom of religion. Citizens can profess, practice, and propagate their religion, subject to restrictions for public order, morality, or health. Books Article 20 of the Constitution of Bangladesh secures freedom of religion for all citizens. It allows individuals to profess, practice, and propagate their religion according to their beliefs. However, this freedom is subject to reasonable restrictions imposed by the state in the interest of public order, morality, or health. Article 20 protects religious liberty, promotes diversity, and ensures peaceful coexistence of different religious communities. Being part of the Fundamental Rights chapter, it is enforceable in courts and forms a cornerstone of Bangladesh's commitment to religious freedom and pluralism. Book Article 21. Protection of property rights. Article 21 states, every citizen has the right to own, acquire, and dispose of property, and no person shall be deprived of property except by law. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Right to own property. Citizens can buy, sell, and inherit property. Property includes land, house, business, or movable goods. 2. Article 5. Supremacy of the Constitution. Article 5 states, the Constitution is the supreme law of Bangladesh. Any law, custom, or action inconsistent with the Constitution shall be void to the extent of inconsistency. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Constitution is supreme, no law, government action, or authority can override the Constitution. All organs of the state must follow the Constitution. 2. Invalidity of conflicting laws. If any law or rule contradicts the Constitution, it is automatically void, invalid, to that extent. Example: if a law violates fundamental rights, it cannot be enforced. 3. Foundation of rule of law. Article 5 ensures all citizens, including government officials, are bound by the Constitution. It is the legal foundation of rule of law in Bangladesh. 4. Importance in governance, protects citizens' rights, maintains constitutional supremacy over executive, legislative, and judicial powers. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 5 declares the Constitution of Bangladesh as the supreme law. Any law, custom, or government action that conflicts with the Constitution is void to the extent of inconsistency. It ensures that all authorities and citizens must follow the Constitution. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 5 of the Constitution establishes the supremacy of the Constitution as the highest law of Bangladesh. It declares that any law, custom, or government action inconsistent with the Constitution shall be void, in whole or in part, to the extent of the inconsistency. This article forms the basis of the rule of law, ensuring that all organs of the state, including the legislature, executive, and judiciary, operate within the framework of the Constitution. Article 5 protects the constitutional rights of citizens and maintains the legal and political order by preventing arbitrary actions by the state. It reinforces the principle that the Constitution is the ultimate authority in Bangladesh. Book Article 6. Citizenship of Bangladesh. Article 6 deals with citizenship at the time of independence. It states, persons who are permanent residents of Bangladesh, formerly East Pakistan, and meet conditions prescribed by law shall be citizens of Bangladesh. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Citizenship at independence. People who resided in East Pakistan before March 26, 1971, automatically became citizens of Bangladesh. 2. Conditions prescribed by law. Citizenship is also governed by laws passed by Parliament. Parliament can define additional conditions, such as registration, birth, or naturalization. 3. Key points. Ensures that Bangladesh has a clear list of citizens at the time of independence. Prevents disputes over who belongs to the new state. 4. Citizenship law. Citizenship is further detailed in the Bangladesh Citizenship Act, 1972, which explains birthright citizenship, naturalization, citizenship by descent. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 6 declares that persons who were permanent residents of Bangladesh, formerly East Pakistan, and meet conditions prescribed by law are citizens of Bangladesh. It ensures a clear definition of citizenship at the time of independence. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 6 of the Constitution provides for citizenship in Bangladesh. It states that all persons who were permanent residents of the territory of Bangladesh, formerly East Pakistan, at the time of independence, and who satisfy conditions prescribed by law, shall be citizens of Bangladesh. This article provides a constitutional basis for citizenship, preventing disputes regarding who is legally a Bangladeshi citizen. The Parliament is authorized to pass laws to define conditions for citizenship, such as birth, descent, registration, and naturalization. The Bangladesh Citizenship Act, 1972, elaborates these provisions in detail. Article 6 is therefore fundamental for establishing the legal identity of citizens in the newly independent state. Book Article 7, Loyalty to the Constitution. Article 7 states, all powers in the Republic belong to the people, and any person or group who takes power by force or in violation of the Constitution shall be considered illegal. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. People are the source of power. Article 7 emphasizes that sovereignty rests with the people. Government and authorities derive their power from the people, not by force or rebellion. 2. Rejection of extra-constitutional power. Any usurper, dictator, or group taking power illegally, through military coups or unconstitutional acts, is not recognized. Laws and actions by such authorities are null and void. 3. Safeguard of democracy. Article 7 ensures constitutional supremacy. It protects democratic governance by declaring illegitimate any government formed outside the Constitution. 4. Historical context. Bangladesh faced several military coups after independence. Article 7 was crucial in establishing the principle, only constitutional government is legitimate. Martial law or military regimes are unconstitutional. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 7 states that all powers in Bangladesh belong to the people. Any person or group who seizes power by force or outside the Constitution is illegal. It safeguards democracy and constitutional rule. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 7 of the Constitution of Bangladesh establishes the principle of popular sovereignty. It declares that all powers in the Republic belong to the people, and any individual or group that seizes power by force or outside the Constitution shall be considered illegal. This article reinforces the supremacy of the Constitution, ensures that democratic governance is maintained, and rejects military coups or extra-constitutional regimes. Historically, Article 7 has been fundamental in restoring constitutional order in Bangladesh, affirming that the legitimacy of government derives solely from the people and their representatives. Book Article 8. Fundamental Principles of State Policy. Article 8 lays down the fundamental principles of state policy, FPSP. Key points. 1. The state shall be guided by principles of democracy, socialism, freedom, and equality. 2. The state shall strive to ensure justice, human rights, and welfare of the people. 3. These principles are not enforceable in court, but serve as guidelines for governance. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Purpose of Article 8. Provides moral and political guidance for the state. Ensures the government makes policies for the welfare and development of citizens. 2. Key principles. Democracy, government elected by the people. Socialism, social and economic justice. Reducing inequalities. Freedom and human rights, protecting individual liberties. Equality, equal opportunity for all citizens. 3. Directive. Not justiciable. These principles cannot be enforced in a court of law. Example, you cannot file a lawsuit just because the government is not fully following FPSP. They are guidelines for lawmakers, the executive, and administrators. 4. Role in governance. Helps formulate laws, policies, and programs for public welfare. Guides economic and social planning to ensure fairness and justice. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 8 lays down the fundamental principles of state policy, guiding the state to ensure democracy, socialism, freedom, equality, and the welfare of the people. These principles are not enforceable in courts but serve as a framework for governance. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 8 of the Constitution of Bangladesh provides the fundamental principles of state policy. These principles guide the government in making laws and policies aimed at ensuring democracy, socialism, equality, freedom, and human rights. The state is directed to promote social, economic, and political justice and the welfare of the people. Although these principles are not enforceable in courts, they are binding on the state in policy making and governance. Article 8 ensures that all organs of the government act according to moral and political objectives, shaping Bangladesh as a just, equitable, and democratic society. Book Article 9, Promotion of Nationalism, Education, and Public Welfare. Article 9 states that it shall be the duty of the state to 1. Promote nationalism and patriotism among citizens. 2. Develop a system of democracy and social justice. 3. Provide basic necessities of life such as food, clothing, housing, medical care, and education. 4. Promote public welfare and reduce inequalities. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Duty of the state. Article 9 directs the government to ensure the welfare of citizens. Focuses on social and economic development. 2. Nationalism and patriotism. Encourages citizens to love their country and work for its progress. Promotes unity, loyalty, and a sense of responsibility toward Bangladesh. 3. Welfare of the people. Government must ensure basic needs, food, clothing, housing, healthcare and education, economic and social justice. 4. Directive in nature. Like Article 8, Article 9 is not enforceable in court. It serves as guidelines for policy making and administration. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 9 directs the state to promote nationalism, provide basic necessities, ensure social welfare, and reduce inequalities. It guides the government to work for the overall development of the citizens. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 9 of the Constitution of Bangladesh establishes the duties of the state to promote nationalism, patriotism, and social welfare. The state is responsible for ensuring democracy, social justice, and providing basic necessities like food, clothing, housing, medical care, and education. Although this article is not enforceable in courts, it guides the government in policy making and administration to reduce social and economic inequalities. Article 9 plays an important role in shaping the moral and social objectives of the state and ensures the welfare of the people as a key principle of governance. Book Article 10, Promotion of Local Government. Article 10 directs that it shall be the duty of the state to 1. Ensure effective decentralization of powers. 2. Promote local government institutions for the people's participation. 3. Enable people to take part in decision-making affecting their local area. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Local government and people's participation. Article 10 emphasizes grassroots democracy. Power should not be concentrated only at the central government level. 2. Decentralization. The government should delegate authority to local councils, municipalities, and union parish ads. Local bodies should make decisions for local development. 3. Guideline for governance. Article 10 is directive in nature, like Articles 8 and 9. Not enforceable in court, but guides government policies. 4. Purpose. Encourage citizen participation in governance. Promote efficient administration and development at the local level. Strengthen democracy from bottom to top. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 10 directs the state to promote local government institutions and decentralization of power. It aims to ensure people's participation in decision-making at the local level and guides the government in promoting grassroots democracy. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 10 of the Constitution of Bangladesh provides for the promotion of local government institutions. It directs the state to ensure decentralization of powers so that people can participate in decision-making affecting their local area. This article promotes grassroots democracy by encouraging local bodies such as union parish ads, municipalities, and city corporations to manage their own affairs. Although it is not enforceable in courts, Article 10 serves as an important guideline for governance and planning. Ensuring people's active involvement in local administration and contributing to efficient and participatory development of the nation. Book Article 11. Nationality of Bangladesh. Article 11 declares, "The Republic of Bangladesh shall be a unitary state and the people of Bangladesh shall have a common nationality." Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Common nationality. All citizens of Bangladesh share a single nationality, Bangladeshi. This promotes unity and national identity among the people. 2. Unitary state. Bangladesh has a unitary system of government, not federal. All powers are concentrated in the central government. Local governments work under the authority of the central government. 3. Purpose. Ensures national integration. Strengthens loyalty and sense of belonging to Bangladesh. Prevents division based on religion, language, or region. 4. Legal implication. While the Constitution recognizes a common nationality, citizenship rules are defined in Articles 6 and 7 and in the Bangladesh Citizenship Act, 1972. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 11 declares Bangladesh as a unitary state and that all its citizens have a common nationality. It promotes national unity and strengthens the sense of belonging among the people. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 11 of the Constitution establishes that Bangladesh is a unitary state and its citizens share a common nationality. This provision ensures national unity and integration by promoting a single Bangladeshi identity for all citizens, regardless of religion, language, or region. The unitary system centralizes authority in the central government, ensuring uniformity in governance, laws, and policies throughout the country. Article 11 underlines the importance of loyalty to the nation and strengthens the sense of belonging and patriotism among the people, forming a foundation for social cohesion and national solidarity. Preamble. The preamble says why Bangladesh made its constitution and what goals the country wants to achieve. 1. We became independent in 1971. It says that the people of Bangladesh declared independence on the 26th of March 1971 and gained freedom through a long, hard liberation war. 2. Our country is a free and sovereign state. Bangladesh is an independent country, run by its own people. 3. The ideals that guided our liberation war. 4 main ideals inspired the struggle for freedom: nationalism, love for our country and identity; socialism, economic justice, removing exploitation; democracy, people will choose their leaders; secularism, religious freedom for everyone. These 4 are the core principles of the Constitution. 4. What kind of society we want? Bangladesh aims to build a society where no one is exploited, Everyone enjoys justice, political, social, and economic. The rule of law is respected. Human rights and freedom are protected. Equality is ensured for all citizens. 5. People must protect the Constitution. We promise to safeguard the Constitution, respect it, keep it the highest law in the country, because it expresses the will of the people. 6. Bangladesh wants peace with other countries. The preamble says Bangladesh will work for international peace, cooperation with other nations, progress for all humanity. 7. Constitution adopted. Finally, it says the Constitution was formally accepted on the 18th of November 1972 by the Constituent Assembly. Book summary in one line. The preamble explains the reasons behind Bangladesh's independence, the main principles of the state, and the commitment to build a fair, democratic, peaceful society. Article 1. The Republic, Bangladesh Constitution. Exact idea. Article 1 declares the name, nature, and identity of the state. Light bulb. Article 1, text summary. According to the Constitution, Bangladesh is a unitary, independent, sovereign republic and shall be known as the People's Republic of Bangladesh. Memo. Article 1. Easy explanation. Exam answer. 1. Name of the state. Article 1 officially declares the name of the country as People's Republic of Bangladesh. This means the country belongs to the people, and the authority of the state comes from the people. 2. Nature of the state. Republic. Bangladesh is a republic, meaning the head of the state is elected, not a king or monarch. Sovereign power lies with the citizens of Bangladesh. 3. Sovereignty. Bangladesh is a sovereign state. No foreign country can control its internal or external affairs. Bangladesh makes its own laws and decisions independently. 4. Independence. Article 1 confirms that Bangladesh is an independent state, achieved through the Liberation War of 1971. 5. Unitary form of government. Bangladesh has a unitary, not a federal, system. All powers come from the central government. There are no separate regional governments with independent powers like in federal countries, India, USA. Books exam friendly. Short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 1 of the Constitution declares that Bangladesh shall be a unitary, independent, sovereign republic known as the People's Republic of Bangladesh. This article identifies the official name of the state and clarifies the nature of the government as a republican system where ultimate authority rests with the people. Books long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 1 of the Constitution of Bangladesh defines the fundamental identity of the state. It states that Bangladesh is a unitary, independent and sovereign republic known as the People's Republic of Bangladesh. The term, republic, signifies that the head of the state is elected and the supreme power belongs to the people. Sovereign and independent indicate that Bangladesh has complete freedom over its internal and external affairs, free from foreign interference. Moreover, unitary means all governmental powers are concentrated at the national level, not divided among regional states. Thus, Article 1 lays the foundation of the political and constitutional structure of Bangladesh. Article 2. The territory of the Republic. Article 2 states, the territory of the Republic shall comprise the territories which immediately before the proclamation of independence constituted East Pakistan and such other territories as may become included in Bangladesh. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Defines the land area of Bangladesh. Article 2 clearly says what lands make up Bangladesh. It includes the areas that were known as East Pakistan before 1971. Any future territories that may legally become part of Bangladesh. 2. Based on the 1971 Independence Proclamation, before independence, Bangladesh was called East Pakistan. After March 26, 1971, these same territories formed the new state, Bangladesh. Article 2 confirms this historical and legal identity. 3. Allows for future territorial changes. The Constitution keeps a provision that if any territory joins Bangladesh by law, it will become part of the Republic. Example: Islands formed in the Bay of Bengal, or maritime territory gained legally. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 2 defines the territory of Bangladesh. It states that the republic comprises the areas that were known as East Pakistan before the proclamation of independence, along with any other territories that may be added in the future by law. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 2 of the Constitution explains the geographical boundaries of the state. It declares that the territory of the People's Republic of Bangladesh consists of all lands that formed East Pakistan prior to the independence of 1971. By referring to the Proclamation of Independence, Article 2 attaches constitutional legitimacy to Bangladesh's territorial identity. Additionally, this article contains a flexible clause that allows new areas or territories to become part of Bangladesh if acquired or included by legally recognized means. Thus, Article 2 establishes the foundation for the territorial extent of the Bangladeshi state. Article 3. The state language. Article 3 states, the state language of the Republic is Bangla. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. Declares Bangla as the only state language. Article 3 establishes Bangla as the official state language of Bangladesh. All government work, administration, laws, and official communication must use Bangla. 2. Historical importance. Language movement 1952. The recognition of Bangla honors the language movement martyrs of 1952. The struggle for Bangla as a national language is a key part of our national identity. 3. Cultural and constitutional identity. Declaring Bangla as the state language protects Bangladeshi culture, literature, national unity. It ensures that the state represents the people's linguistic heritage. 4. Administrative use. Courts, parliament, ministries, government offices. Every sector is constitutionally directed to use Bangla. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 3 declares Bangla as the state language of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. It ensures that all official and administrative functions of the state are conducted in Bangla, reflecting the linguistic identity and historical struggle of the nation. Books exam long answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 3 of the Constitution declares Bangla as the state language of Bangladesh. This article has profound historical significance because it reflects the sacrifices of the 1952 language movement, where people laid down their lives demanding recognition of Bangla. By making Bangla the sole state language, the Constitution ensures that all governmental, administrative, and legal activities use Bangla, thereby preserving the linguistic and cultural heritage of the nation. Article 3 symbolizes national unity and asserts the Bangladeshi identity born out of linguistic struggle. Book Article 4. The national flag, emblem and anthem. Article 4 states that Bangladesh shall have 1. A national flag. 2. A national emblem. 3. A national anthem. 4. All these are to be prescribed by law. Open book easy explanation. Exam focused. 1. National flag. Article 4 authorizes the state to adopt a national flag. The Constitution does not describe the flag's design. It says law will prescribe the details, color, shape, use, etc. Current flag. Green field with a red circle, symbolizing sacrifice and greenery of the land. 2. National emblem. The article recognizes that the country will have a national emblem. Details of the emblem are set by law and government rules. Current emblem includes water lily, shapla, rice sheaves, stars, and jute leaves. 3. National anthem. Bangladesh must have a national anthem. The anthem is legally prescribed. Current anthem. Amar Shona Bangla, written by Rabindranath Tagore. 4. Legal authority. Article 4 does not describe these symbols. It delegates authority to Parliament. Government rules. They decide the exact form, usage, and preservation of national symbols. Books exam short answer, 3 to 4 marks. Article 4 provides for the national flag, emblem, and anthem of Bangladesh. It states that the Republic shall have its own flag, emblem, and anthem. and their detailed forms and uses shall be determined by law. Books Exam Long Answer, 7 to 10 marks. Article 4 of the Constitution of Bangladesh establishes the national symbols of the state. It declares that the Republic shall have a national flag, a national emblem, and a national anthem. Although the Constitution does not describe their specific forms, it delegates authority to Parliament and the government to prescribe their details through law. These symbols reflect the history, culture, and identity of Bangladesh. The national flag represents the sacrifice and greenery of the land, the national emblem symbolizes the agricultural heritage, and the national anthem expresses patriotic spirit. Article 4 thus ensures the legal recognition and protection of the essential national symbols of Bangladesh.